Welcome to Man Reacts. As the years pass by, we can see a transformational shift in the changing dating landscape. This landscape also changed and shifted with COVID-19 hitting all of us in the last couple of years, pushing us back into our rooms and homes, forcing us to isolate ourselves and not interact with people in the real world. I remember when COVID hit, there were people who used to talk to each other across apartment buildings through their windows and roofs. I even remember watching a video where a guy liked a girl who he could see from his window, while she was sitting on her roof reading a book. He managed to send her messages through a drone, and then they started sharing meals and everything. The point here is that there are always going to be instances where people will make it work for them through human interaction, but that's just a one-off. A majority of people, especially guys, were forced to only rely on dating apps. But do you know what's the worst thing about dating apps for guys? It's totally designed to work against them and take away their self-esteem. That's because women have always had more leverage on these dating apps and social media platforms. And I've talked about this in some of our previous videos as well. If there are 10 women on a particular dating app looking for a date at a particular time, there are going to be 500 guys looking for each of those 10 women, making it a case of extreme demand and short supply. It's just like economics. The demand and supply of dating apps favor women. A few years ago, most internet dating was conducted in the same manner as it had always been. Women would advertise online on sites like Occupid, Harmony, or other sites of a similar kind, and would receive hundreds of messages from men. Men would be fortunate to receive just one reply from any of the dozens or hundreds of women they contacted. The men in this situation would have to use all their effort in order to make a connection and have the opportunity to chat with a woman. And we all know women love attention. Tinder and, to a lesser extent, Hot or Not are the main components of what I like to refer to as Dating 2.0, which was released a few years ago. With this new method of dating, neither men nor women are required to create online dating profiles. Both of them just swipe left for those they dislike and right for those they like. Because most guys close their eyes and swipe to the right to maximize the number of women they may choose from, guys are once again successfully showering women with attention. For the majority of guys, ugly and unattractive women will likewise swipe to the right, particularly if they are a 3, a 4, or below on the scale of attraction. I recently read an article that suggested most males flip to the right for every single woman they see. I made the decision to test this theory by doing the same on Tinder to see what kind of outcomes I would receive. And sure enough, I received responses from some of the chubbiest, least beautiful women I had ever seen. If I compared this to my previous strategy, where I only swiped right the women that I found extremely attractive, I only received 3 or 4 matches, and I remember swiping at least 50 women. So that's the typical match ratio that guys usually have, but if they swipe right every woman they see, then they have more options to choose from. It's the opposite with women. They just post their profile, sit back, relax, and let the swipes massage their egos one by one. It's important to understand that women don't really respond to your overall profile in online dating. They'll respond if you tick all the boxes they have for the sort of guys they're seeking. For example, they'll swipe right if you're a certain height, or if you're dressed like you know how to, or if you show that you're well-read and well-traveled. Women only respond if you tick all the right boxes. Also, I can imagine that women who are obese, who don't know how to dress, or just don't have interesting personalities, are in their mid to late 30s and probably swipe right on every man as well. They're at the bottom of the female intimacy marketplace. If they're still not successful, they then shift to other dating sites only reserved for the digitally alienated people who have no chance at finding someone on other dating sites. Women usually have short descriptions on their profiles and tend to have the same information across their social media and dating profile presence. Descriptions that include typical things such as their love for pets and repulsion for men who only want one-night stands. Women naturally want men to have value and will change their perspective on dating if you bring that value. Ironically though, if these women met an attractive guy who checks all of their boxes, they'd be more than willing to have one-night stands with him. They would forego all of their so-called principles and lose their personal ethics to have a chance at a hot fling with someone who they think is hot and attractive. The point here is that because of this imbalance in online dating, women receive more attention than they ever can, and men get to have their self-esteem crushed by women who only see them as one of 500 men who swiped right on their profile. This leads to a lot of guys who start to resent and detest women and take it even further to become incels. That's something that I would really like to warn you guys about. Listen, hating on women is not going to solve your problem. If you decided to go your own way and take the red pill, that's a separate thing, and I totally respect that because I know you don't hate women. You just want to focus on yourself and live a better life that you feel you can without women in your equation. But if you choose to become an incel, then you really need to reconsider, because that's just another form of degeneracy. You're acting exactly like a woke extreme feminist who hates on guys all day long and then wonders why there's no happiness and intimacy in your life. The primary method of avoiding becoming that extreme is to actually interact with women, meet more women, date more women, understand their points of view, and live a healthier lifestyle. Listen, you can't just start hating on a whole gender just because you couldn't or haven't really had the chance to spend time with them. I know that it's a horrible dent in a guy's self-esteem if all he ever receives is left swipes and ignored messages from women. And now, I'll tell you about a study I came across that said if things don't change soon, a whole generation, and perhaps generations to come, will have men who will never experience intimacy with a woman and will end up with extreme views such as those found in incels. Men are vulnerable to extreme gender narratives. The study was conducted at a leading U.S. university that explored the area of online dating, as well as dating in the world after the coronavirus. It stated that with more and more men who are not experiencing intimacy, especially those who are categorized between the ages of 19 and 30, there is going to be a whole generation of men who are not going to treat women favorably. This will lead to numerous extremist ideologies, some of which we are currently seeing even today. And these ideologies are further going to deepen the divide between the genders and the subgroups that have formed within these genders over the last decade. What happens now is only up to the men and women who are the real players in the dating game. If more guys can see this from a bigger perspective and pursue more women without hating on them, and if women understood where men are coming from and give them a chance, only then we might have a sense of normalcy in how the future of dating plays out. Otherwise, it's going towards chaos. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe for more from Man Reacts.